So welcome to today's podcast.
Thank you.
We are really lucky to have you.
Thank you.
So to start with, maybe you give a simple introduction about yourself.
I'm Olivia Chore. I teach biology, chemistry, and I really have a passion for teaching, especially the sciences.
The science.
Because they are subjects that at least they impact a difference in someone's life.
Okay. So this passion started when you were in primary school, or when did it start?
When I got to high school.
When you got to high school?
Yeah. Immediately in Form 1, when I got to high school, I scored some good marks in especially biology. That's when I had the interest in pursuing the science subject.
So in primary you didn't do science, or in primary or the passion?
In primary I did science, but I didn't perform very well in science at KCP. In fact, it was the poorly performed subject, but I got the interest in high school.
It is so good.
Yeah.
So is it about the teacher, or it was about the subject itself?
It was about motivation from my father.
Your father?
Yes.
That is so good.
Yeah.
So previous, he did not also motivate you in other subjects?
He motivated me mostly in science and mathematics.
Science and mathematics?
Yes.
And you were a girl, you were able to do it?
And I was a girl. He used to tell me girls do better in sciences. Even if we have many men who are good in sciences, girls can also be good.
Hey, that is wonderful. That is a different parent. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, he's such a good father.
And he was, that is wonderful. So he was able also maybe to teach you how to do it?
In fact, he would bring me papers and he would keep telling me practice makes perfect. And the more I would practice, the more I got better.
So if you're studying sciences, let's take one subject like chemistry, which you're teaching, right?
Yeah.
The best way to study it in secondary school, the method that you used.
The method that I used mostly is doing more questions and getting to the teacher. Where you find a difficulty, you go to the teacher, and the teacher was always willing to help. So you find that at the end of it, it's now the teacher giving you questions to do, and not you going to the teacher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So doing questions and taking to the teacher.
To the teacher.
It's about practice.
It's about practice.
But I hear people also saying, well, concept is very difficult. At least I've heard about that bit because I don't teach chemistry.
Well, concept is not difficult. It's all about the mind.
It's all about the mind.
Yeah.
So you have to love the subject.
You just love the subject.
Oh, okay.
I always tell my students, love the subject. Don't even bother about the teacher. Love the subject, because it's the subject that will give you a difference in the grade, not even the teacher. You'll come and notice the teacher helped me when you've gained what you wanted. Yeah.
That is good. So if your father was giving you the papers, was he a teacher?
My father was not a teacher.
And he was giving you the papers, so he was really loved you. That is very good coming from your father. Yeah. And you were in a day school, or he was bringing them in a boarding school?
I was in a boarding school, so when we closed school, that is when I would do more.
You do more?
Yeah.
Okay.
More of the work was done during the holiday.
During the holiday?
Yeah.
And now, let's do that, your secondary school education. That is where you gain the passion for sciences, right?
Yeah.
And wanting to be a teacher.
Okay, I can't really say I really wanted to be a teacher, but I just had the passion for science, whereby I had said if I'm not going to be a nurse, then I'll be a teacher, because both of them deal with science.
Sciences.
Yeah.
So now you did your...
So teaching came as the first
option. And you went to the university.
And I went to do teaching.
Yeah. So when you went to the university, in the general courses, the other courses for science. Yes, not the common courses.
Or the courses for science.
For sciences. Were you many ladies?
No. We were almost in a class of biology, chemistry, we were around 17 ladies.
Out of
almost 63. Yeah, we were 63. Most of the ladies went to do mathematics.
So mathematics seemed to be easier for
Seems
them.
to be easier for them than chemistry.
And were you not discouraged when you read there?
No.
You liked it?
You'd never be discouraged in a chemistry class unless the lecturer was boring.
Oh, so in general terms, how were the lecturers for you?
Okay, they weren't that bad, even though they were very strict.
Very strict.
Very strict.
Strict meaning?
You just had to do your work. If it's the practical, you had to attend and submit the report.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now let's go to your first school, the school that you arrived for teaching practice, and your science teacher. How was the parade when you announced that, when the principal announced that you were
The
chemistry teacher?
principal of the school where I went for teaching practice was my deputy at my former high school. So when I went there, she was very happy. In fact, when I went to ask for the teaching practice, she accepted me very well. And it was a girls' school, so the girls were eager. The girls were happy.
Yes.
Yes, to have me.
That is so wonderful.
Yeah.
And you were able to encourage many of them?
Many of them.
In the same method that you
In the
used to
same
teach?
method I used. And some of them just loved me. The way I would teach them, and then the communication, they were just happy to have someone at least almost their age.
Yes,
Yeah.
who's teaching them.
Yeah.
So what can you urge maybe those other teachers, the science teachers, what methods should they use in class to be able to make the students understand better? Because you're well versed.
Okay, with science, we have different methods. So for me, the method that I use, I keep telling the students to be more conversant with the subject. If they know what they want, then they'll definitely get what they want. Now, like for the mole concept, they just need to love mathematics. If you hate mathematics, there's no way you'll perform better in mole concept. So it's all about love, encouraging the students each and every time. Yes, we know most of the students have a negative attitude, but when it comes to class, just the words you speak to them is what will draw them near to the subject.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they bring a lot of work to you?
They bring work. I have those who bring work. Like almost every week, a student will bring 3 times a week. And I just mark and give them.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is wonderful. At least now we know what we can do.
Yes.
Now, after your teaching practice, tell me how long it took before you were employed by the TAC?
I was out for almost 2 years. Yeah.
Almost. That is short. Someone else was here and it was 7 years.
No, it was competitive. According to them, it was
That person
competitive. I
stayed
stayed
for
for
7
so
years.
long.
So 2 years was long for you.
2 years was long for me because you would hear of other people, someone who took geography, business, they were employed the next year after graduation. So you are just there still waiting.
So were you in a private school?
No, I was in a public school.
Oh, the teaching is BOM.
Yeah.
And how was it? How was the pay during that time?
The pay wasn't good.
How much was it? We want to know that because someone here was paid 6,000. Some other person, the first job, 3,000.
Okay, as at that time, the pay was around 15,000.
So you see, it's because you it's just the other thing.
No. The Kenyan economy with 15,000, you can't do anything.
You can't do anything.
Yes.
But you stayed at least.
Yeah,
you
at
had
least
a job.
I had the experience.
Because
so
if you had learned another profession, it could be tougher.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when you went for you got that job, you're very excited.
In fact, I was happy.
You're very
happy. And I was happy to begin my teaching, even though it was tough at first, but I just had to cope with the situation.
With the environment.
Exactly.
Was it the environment?
In fact, it's the environment.
The environment.
Yeah.
Okay. So you started also teaching the students the same methods that you used in your
the same
previous school.
methods. And then I had asked some other teachers how they do the teaching. So if a question comes and I'm not sure about it, I just go to a teacher who was very conversant with it, and they helped me. That's how I gained the knowledge.
So that is wonderful. So teachers help each other.
Teachers help each other. There is no one who is perfect.
True. Yeah. True. That one I concur. How should a school help a teacher to be able to do his or her work well?
Okay, the school should provide the needed resources to the teacher.
Yes.
Because at times, you will go ask for something, it's not there, then you are discouraged. And then motivation of the teacher is key.
It's key.
Yes.
So that they can be able to.
So that they can, there's that thing we say it's something that comes from inside. Yes, a teacher, the intrinsic one. Yes, a teacher does their work from the heart.
Yes.
But sometimes the teacher does their work from their heart.
Yes.
But sometimes you just have to motivate the teacher.
Yes.
Yes. We say you fuel the teacher. When you fuel the teacher will do more. Yeah.
Even if it's your passion, in life, in everything, you have to fuel it.
Exactly.
For it to keep on going.
Keep on going.
So far, because you've taken a while in teaching, even if it's a short time, there is that one student that you taught and performed very well. Why was he or she exceptional?
Okay, there's one student I taught when I was in BOM
Yes.
in a certain school.
Mm-hmm.
And that student, as of now, she's a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And up to date, we communicate with the girl. She just had the passion. When I went to the school, we just became friends. And then the girl, she just started doing more of the work.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just encourage her.
Mm-hmm.
So when she did her KCC,
Mm-hmm.
we met back on Facebook because I didn't pick her contact.
Okay.
And that's when we still communicated. She told me she's going to do teaching.
Mm-hmm.
And I encouraged her. I told her teaching, it's not a bad profession.
Mm-hmm.
And she went to do the teaching. And as I know, she's a high school teacher.
That is good. So number one, for you to be able to perform well, you should be able to communicate with your teacher effectively and often.
Of course.
Even before she went, she had to first communicate within the school, so that later in later life she could be able to do what? To talk to you.
Okay, the student, you'd find we have those students who would come to you and tell you to make some practicals for them, because with science subjects, you have to be thorough in practical. So during the extra time from 4 to around 6, they would go to the lab, they ask you for a practical. So as long as you're a willing teacher who wants to help, you'll organize for them a practical, and then they do it on their own. Yes. So you find that the student will have more knowledge on the practical, because the practical covers more percentage in the final exam. So if the more marks you get in practical, the better you will perform.
So you have to practice.
So you have to do more practicals.
Are there schools which do not have labs?
Of course.
Have you ever gone to such school?
No, I've not been to one, but there are those schools.
Oh, good. What sort of jobs can one get when they do sciences? Just giving a chemist, except being a teacher.
Okay, you can go to the research centers. Yes.
I also had someone who went to work in the KRA. I don't know, testing something. Yes. I don't know whether you. She told me because she did chemist. She was good and she was working there. There's something they're testing.
As long as it's something to do with testing, if you are good in sciences, then you can do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what other co-curricular activities are you involved in a school as a teacher?
Okay, I just do games a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah. So, you like, which game do you like?
I love playing badminton. In fact, it's my best.
It's your best.
Yes, and then I love watching handball, how handball is being played.
Yeah. So you can tell students to be able to be involved in sports.
Yeah, sports. It's good to be involved in a co-curricular. As long as you manage your time well, then you'll still study and pass your exams.
Okay.
Yeah.
But do they help the student in any other way? The co-curricular?
No, they don't. They only get a certificate, but they don't help in any other way.
Okay. Now let's talk about. Do you have any other about your income now in teaching? Do you have any other side hustle that you have that you can be able to maybe motivate other teachers to start it, so that maybe they can have a side income?
Okay, with teaching, unless you be involved in farming, but there's no other side hustle you can do, because most of the time you're in school.
Yes.
So you don't have time to be there and see how the side hustle is going about.
You have children?
Of course.
And how can you advise a parent to introduce sciences to their children when they are still young?
Okay, as a parent, you need to keep motivating your children. You know, as a child, they make a lot of mistakes when they're still young.
Yes.
So when you see a particular mistake in your child, you don't need to scold your child. You need to bring your child closer. At times, they make mistakes, but once they are told it's done this way, then they know what to do. For example, if your child comes to you and then they've drawn a tree and then they've named that tree wrongly. Instead of the leaves, they've put the stem, but they've made a good diagram. All you need to do is just tell your child, these are roots, these are stem, and so on. And then when your child makes a mistake, don't keep scolding them. You keep scolding your children, they tend to run away from you because they see you as hot-tempered. But for a child, if you want to bring up your child in the right way, you don't need to keep scolding them most of the time. You just need to bring them closer to you. The more closer they are to you, the more open they'll be. Even if they are told in school, there's this thing in science that they're supposed to do, and they know you are good at explaining, they'll still come to you and you explain it to them. Okay. Yeah. And if they are performing poorly? If they perform poorly, let's just keep encouraging them. Okay. Because, we say we take things step at a time. Maybe this time they've performed poorly. Let's keep encouraging them. The next time they might improve. Even if they have not improved to the standard that you needed, but just keep encouraging them. As long as it's a small improvement, then that is a good start for them. Okay. Yeah. So you've ever had a student who was performing, like getting a D,
And then they were able to improve and get an A.
Okay, they didn't really get an A,
Yes.
but at least I had a student who used to get a D.
Mm-hmm.
So with the encouragements and more practicals,
Mm-hmm.
the student ended up getting a B in chemistry.
That's good. So does a teacher need to be trained to mark the Kenya National Examination to be able to teach and for a child to pass KCSE and get an A?
No.
Okay.
I think teaching is just something intrinsic.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. As long as you go through the normal training,
Mm-hmm.
then you can still teach for a student to get an A.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as we wind up, there is someone outside there. A young person who is in them. They are maybe 17 years, 18, 19.
Mm-hmm.
They are on their way to go to the university. So can you motivate them and tell them, how can you motivate them and encourage them to become teachers? So what I want you to say also and to tell other teachers, you tell them the good things about teaching. What do you think is the benefit of teaching?
Okay, for the young ones who want to pursue teaching,
Yes.
I would encourage them to go for it. Teaching is, they call it a noble profession.
Yes.
Yes, you won't get exactly what you need at the end of it, but you are impacting a lot of lives.
Yes.
Because with teaching, you can decide to build or destroy. You can choose to build this girl or destroy her in teaching. So as teachers, let's strive to build the lives of these children. Because when we build them, yes, they might not come back to us to say thank you, but at some point, they'll one day remember a certain teacher did this to me. That's why I'm in this position.
Truly have the passion. So thank you.
Thank you.